Okay, hi. Welcome everyone to your West Indies versus New Zealand second T20 game. Was also played in in Dominica. Luke again is once again joining me for this video, and we are just basically reviewing this one. So, as everyone knows, West Indies actually ended up winning this one, and the series being squared at 1-all. So, you know, can't say it wasn't expected by West Indies. West Indies, from how I've been watching West Indies for years, they always go about losing something to then come back and win it. Or if they win it first, they end up losing the next one. I can't think of how many years that's been going on, but it's been consistent in West Indies cricket. So can't really say I was surprised. I'll be more surprised if West Indies actually lost this one because I would get seriously concerned about they're taking any form in the game in any format of the game serious. So yeah, basically that for that one. So Luke, have anything to add before we get started on the actual game?
No, not really. Smith failed again, and the only real change coming in was, as you said in previous video, Cottrell coming in for Santos.
Yep. I was just curious as to why they actually. I mean, not bringing in Cottrell. I understand they want him in the team, but I was just curious why he came in and Santoki was the one to leave.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is they're looking at maybe their fast bowling options with the World Cup just around the corner. Maybe looking at their fast bowling options with quarter format of the game.
You think though that they have a good fast bowler unit though heading in that you would consider deadly for the World Cup though?
I think if they hit the right men, they have a pretty strong bowling attack. Um, it'll be in, I believe it'll be in Australia and New Zealand World Cup, so that will be maybe not so much conducive to spin bowling, so you may not see the likes of Badri and Narain at the same time. Maybe Narain might get the nod over him. Uh, Badri is more of a special. Um, so if you pick maybe Narain and you have Tammy who can keep a good line and length, go wicket to wicket, not give much space outside of stump. Um, Dwayne Bravo, if he comes back from injury in time, can be another option used. Um, I also find it hard to believe that Castillo doesn't bowl anymore in one day or T20 cricket. Um, Anybody who's been watching West Indies for a long time knows that he used to be very quite handy with the ball, especially when it came to Elvis cricket. So I'm not sure. Maybe he hasn't bowled in such a long time that he doesn't feel the confidence to do it anymore. And I'm not sure why he actually stopped. Maybe it was from being exiled from the West Indies team for I can't remember about a year. Um, but that's another option you can use. They even have you even have well, I'm not sure if he's going to be picked in the squad, but you have Leon Johnson, is very handy with the bat and can bowl some spinners. So there are a lot of options that you have available in terms of bowlers who can bat down the order. Um, I hope to see Jerome Taylor back in limited overs action as well as Test cricket. Um, so yeah, I think we have a pretty strong bowling attack coming up for the World Cup.
Yeah, I just wanted to set themselves on a team and decide that this is the team they're going to take forward and don't make too much chopping and changing as the World Cup gets closer because you get the guys together, there's the tour, there's Bangladesh story coming down here, so they're going to get some good practice there. So I hope that the Bangladesh tour will determine for them a lot of the players there that they want to take forward, going forward for the T20. So maybe for the World Cup. So yeah, no, just what I can't remember. West Indies have not won this World Cup since 1979, if I'm not mistaken. When they won 75 and 79 back to back, and then after that they had a chance in '83 to win, and then they just dropped it against India. So yeah, guess we'll just see how that goes. So yeah, heading into this game, he says Santoki. Luke said earlier, Santoki is the only person that was dropped. New Zealand made no replacements. I guess they were confident about their team and stayed with basically the same player. I did not watch a lot of this of the West Indies. I only watched up to I think it's round 97 for two or somewhere around there. Um, yeah, I didn't watch much of the first part, but I do remember seeing brief highlights of Dwayne Smith once again not making any runs, getting bowled by Selvey. So he didn't really add anything. Stolen for these two matches were 9 and 8. He made one more run in this game than the last one, but nothing there to speak of for Dwayne Smith. Really, they only see Landon Simmons back, but here he's made 36 off for 44, 3 fours and 2 sixes. Luke, did you get a chance to watch Landon Simmons back?
Yeah, after the first wicket, he seemed a little hesitant to really attack the bowling as he's used to. I find Lendl Simmons is a sort of a player that he will find himself in a hole and then he'll pull off a big shot simply because he thinks he has to. Because it's T20 cricket and you have that in your head that you have to go fast as soon as possible. But I heard one of the commentators saying that he rotates his strike very well. If anyone would have seen him in the first class game for Trinidad, he rotates his strike very well and he's able to get the other guy on strike and get him into the game as well. But you just don't see that in his T20 game for West Indies. Um, as I said, maybe they're under pressure because you have that mindset that you're going hard to get at least 10 runs or over um, all the time. So I think that's kind of screwing with their heads a bit, especially guys like Simmons and Smith, who you feel could be assets if used well in the 50 over format, but they just have to get in the head to the bat a little while longer um, when it comes to the 50 over game. In the 20 over game, though, they seem pretty suited to it. I would just like to see them rotate the strike a little more, and but boundary hitting doesn't seem to be a problem.
Yeah, it's very true. I don't know if because they play so much different formats of cricket that for some of them, if they are no longer able to, like they are not able to at the right moment make the adjustments that they need for the various formats of the game, and as a result, they end up. As you said, Lando Simmons would look good and just play a well shot, play some shot because of the format he's in. And I think that is like we were saying in the test series review that the test review that West Indies batting has always let them down. And you never really know West Indies team the batting or at least who's going to turn up. So um, they need to be able to be a bit more patient when they go out there and actually perform. So yeah, but Lando Simmons, well, I guess he batted pretty okay for this one, made 36. And that wicket would have fell at 76 for 2 at 10.5 overs. So West Indies was going there at roughly 7, I think, well, 6 points something in the over. So not the quickest start by T20 standards, but it's decent enough, I guess. So that would have been there for them. Darren Bravo, he also looked good in this game again, and he ended up making. Well, no, he didn't actually get going. So he only made 14 this time in this series, and then he got out to be in a very ridiculous fashion, backing away, exposing all three of his stumps, and of course he missed the ball and he gets bowled. So
Yeah.
yeah, That's ridiculous. There was really no need. I mean, he's probably trying to push down his score, but there's really no need to give yourself all that room. And they're fully selling yet, and therefore they really look comfortable out there doing that. So he made 14, and that was the end of him. Then we had Andrew Fletcher going on to make his second consecutive 50 in this test match. So in this T20 series, sorry. So I made his second consecutive T20 thing for this T20. So got a top performance from him. He made 62 this time. And he looked really good out there. So that's positive signs for West Indies to see Andrew Fletcher actually go out there and actually perform the way that West Indies want. And he ended up getting man of the match for this one as well. So yeah, good for him. Um, well, who we have here? Pollard. Pollard. He looked pretty okay, but then he was out caught by a very brilliant catch by Bolt on the boundary. I guess that in recent years players have become more accustomed to practicing their boundary catches because some of the catches I've seen on the boundaries that cricketers have taken over the last few years have been incredible. And this one was another incredible one. So he took it on the boundary. Take Pollard was pulling the ball to the wicket boundary. I think as he was pulling it, and it was Corey Anderson. It was Corey Anderson or Bolt that had the ball in his hand, and he was actually his momentum was taking over the boundary board, and just like on instinct, he just tosses the ball up in the air. Goes over the board, over the boundary line, sorry, and then leaps back in and takes a spectacular catch. So very good catch there by him, and that was very athletic of him. So Pollard didn't really add too much there. Do we have anything to add?
Um, no, not really. It was anybody that saw that catch would have been very impressed. You see them, I would have seen them at Kensington Oval practicing that over and over and over, especially at the lunch intervals or tea intervals where they would have had a little break. For those not participating in the test match to go out and get a little fielding practice or a little batting practice or whatever the case may be. But you saw them doing that constantly, running, getting a catch, tapping it over the boundary, making sure it didn't cross the boundary when they push it back up, and then diving over the boundary to catch the ball again. It's amazing to see how cricket has transformed to that stage, really, where you see these guys practicing that sort of catch over and over. If you look 10 years ago, you would never thought that something like that would have been possible.
Oh, that is actually very true. Back in the day, boundaries, the guys would just leave the ball like over the boundary for six or four of the cases, and a lot of catches. So yeah, draw over the years on the boundary. So, but the thing is, T20 has forced them. They have no choice now but to take these boundary catches because the guys are going for the big shots, and the guys are right on the edge of the boundary. So you've definitely seen an improvement there. So that's good. It's getting cricket more entertaining because um, the players have had to work hard at getting those wickets there and helping their teams. And for me, my favorite catch will always be Basper Drake's catch in the 2007 World Cup. He took that catch on the boundary board and right on the boundary. I still don't know he caught that, but that was one of the best catches I've ever seen of a cricketer. And you know that was top. So this was another good one too. So Karen Pollard didn't really get going too much so in this game, and he ended up falling there at 4 for 126, and that was 17.2 overs. Let's try to I had the right thing here. I was reading this, I was like, huh? Okay, yeah, okay. I'm gonna get a little positive on that. So, yeah, Pollard didn't really to get to settling. Fletcher was lovely ball by a Yorker. Well, it was full and swinging into his legs. Trying to hit the ball a little too square instead of like just playing the ball straight. and he was bowled there for 62. So, again, I can't really fault Fletcher for that. He did his thing. Um, put West Indies in a very good position there, so I think he looks good. He looks fluent out there, and he handled the pace very well. And yeah, 62 for him off 72 balls, three fours and three sixes, and he had he didn't have the highest strike rate, but strike rate was 126.53. So, good showing there from Fletcher. Um, and that wicket fell at play for 147. That was in 18.2 over, 18.2 overs. And what else we have here? Sammy doesn't hang around. He hits the ball. He holds out to the long off. Didn't really add too much, I don't think. Sammy just made 10 again. He made 10 in both innings. So, mm, um, I don't know if this has affected his form by not being in the test team. You think he has anything to do with that, Luke? That he's not playing as sharp as before because he's not captain anymore, and the T20 format he's not fully able to perform the way he needs to.
Um, well, it's been something that's been talked about for a long time. Since Sammy really burst on the scene with, I think it was 7 for 77 against England at, I think it was the Oval. Um, but it's been something that's been talked about for a very long time, especially since he took over the captaincy. There's always been talk about his game not really suiting Test cricket. He doesn't really have the pace to trouble the batsman, and though we've seen his ability to bat in T20 formats, we haven't really seen him um, grind out an innings in a Test match, like a match-winning 100 per se, to really warrant his place in the side as a batsman or as a bowler. So you kind of struggled looking at his stats, especially recently. You kind of struggle to wonder, okay, should he be suited to the Test format or should he just stay to the shorter formats of the game? And um, I think he should stick to the shorter formats. I agree. Whereas everyone is saying that he shouldn't be in the Test team. Um, I feel very bad for him because I love his passion for the game and I love his passion for West Indies cricket especially, but he just doesn't have the pace to, as I said, to threaten the batsman or to give them any sort of trouble. And when it's especially on the flat pitches in, say, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, um, even to a certain extent, Australia and New Zealand, he'll find it very difficult to really penetrate a batting lineup. So you say, okay, well, if he's not in his lineup for bowling, then he's in there for batting. But then you look at his record over the last few years since he came onto the Test scene. There's nothing really to shout about. There are a few starts here and there, but nothing really substantial. So maybe they were right in telling him that he doesn't have a spot on the Test team anymore. I've been very impressed with the man, Richard Pyrus, that they brought in to deal with cricket in some sort of set. I'm not sure exactly what role he's been given, but so far he's certainly stamped his foot down, as we saw in the Test series. Sunil Narine flying in from India, playing the IPL final. He was given a ultimatum, really, play the IPL final or come home in time for a training camp ahead of the Test series, and of course he opted to play for Kolkata in the final, and they said, well, there's no spot here for you on our Test team as a result. So I'm glad that he's taking a stand and he's not backing down, even though there are a lot of people especially at Kensington Oval when I went, wondering, okay, we have Sun Ben here and he's going well, yes, but why is Shane Shannonford there? Why not Sun on the ring? Or as a lot of people were saying, why not Jermaine Blackwood? Um, Not sure why we didn't see him in the T20s as well. Um, would like to hear WSB's thoughts on that, or maybe the selectors, because he looks to be a very promising young man and he looks to have a good temperament. I'm not sure about his one-day form or his T20 form, but maybe I'm a little thankful actually. I don't want him to get too messed up with the T20 format in his head now and go messing with his first class game, because if you look at his first class stats for Jamaica, they're very impressive. They're not just hundreds, but they're big hundreds. And when you see a guy like that really filling his boots and getting big hundreds, then is something to look for the future. Because so many times, often you see guys like Darren Bravo or in the past Ranra Sarwan, just losing it towards the end. As soon as they get to a milestone like 100 in the last test match, second test match, sorry. Darren Bravo, as soon as he gets to 100, loses concentration and gets out. Um, just need somebody like that, like that would to just fill his boots. Um, so I hope he gets a chance in the one-day format, but I don't want to see him in the T20s just yet. In regards to the squad for the World Cup, I think they've got a pretty good squad so far. If Bravo can settle his head and maybe quiet out these rumors about him being the next Lara, maybe he can settle his head down and make some runs. But um, Pollard, you haven't really seen him come back to his form since being injured. Whether it's been in the World T20, actually missed out in that tournament, the World T20. But yeah, you haven't seen him really come back to form since the IPL where Mumbai Indians won. Um, and the luck goes on for a keeper, I suppose. Ramden has the gloves for now, but there's been a lot of talk about Shane Dowrich and Ram Prasad in Barbados as suitable replacements, maybe for Ramden. Just want to get your thoughts on that, actually.
Well, I actually I like Shane Dorish, and I've always felt like Brandon is the only one that they've actually kept there because they don't believe there's actually someone else to actually replace him. But it would be good to actually have a shake-up in the West Indies team because if Brandon is not performing the way that they will actually want him to perform for the ODIs, it will be actually good to actually have someone else who can come in and fill that void because I've never been a huge Brandon fan, but everyone understood that he needed to be there because there's not really been too much keepers in the last oh boy. Since really Jacobs days, I don't really recall many keepers that came through West Indies team that were actually more of a permanent stay. You know, we had Courtney Brown for a little bit there. So um, I've heard about Shane Dorish being the guy that they've wanted for years, but um, you know, I guess he could go in there. Who's the other person you call?
Mario Ramprasad.
I'm not as familiar with him. He plays for Trinidad.
Plays in Barbados. He plays. Yeah, I don't know if he's gotten a start at for Barbados in the first class level as yet, but there's been a lot of talk about him being the best gloveman in the Caribbean right now.
Okay. Well, I
However,
think. Uh huh.
back into a lot of work.
Okay. Well, I think that honestly that it wouldn't hurt to take a different keeper into the team because at this point in West Indies cricket, they they really need to find a stable thing. If Rane can focus more on improving his test game, and there's actually another keeper that could fill his spot for the ODIs or T20 especially, then it takes the pressure somewhat off of him, and he knows now that he can concentrate more on one form of the game. So you know, I don't mind West Indies being versatile in their selection. I just want them to actually settle down on the choice that they make. And the whole thing with Sammy there is very tough for years. You know, they talk about why Sammy is actually in the team and him just being there because he was captain. So, you know, but he's very passionate. That's one thing I always loved about Sammy. To see that he's actually invested in the game. Um, and it's tough that you can't, he was never really given that full recognition. He would be praised sometimes by West Indies will win, and he will help them win like in the T20 formats and all that. But always get after that people weren't fully happy with him being there. So you know, tough for him here. But I guess it'd be interesting to see going forward how he handles it. Excuse me, how he really handles it as a player for West Indies. So yeah. Um, so West Indies ended up making 165 for six, a lot better than how they performed being in front, but wasn't really outstanding by West Indies standards. So you know, they gave New Zealand something to chase though. So Sheldon Cottrell, you said, came into the team. Sheldon Cottrell, like he was going for a attempted Yorker on Jimmy Neeson on James Neeson, sorry, and he it was full toss, and he ended up Neeson ended up playing at it and hitting it straight to backward point, and that was the end of Neeson there. So um, okay, Cottrell got a wicket, that's fine. Um, half here, Andres Sanford was at his usual stuff today. Andres Sanford did not take any wickets in this one, did he? Did he take any wickets? What did Andres Sanford do for this shit? Um, had it in front of me here. What did he do? Um, don't say anything here. What did he have? Oh, he took one wicket, yes. One for 17.
Yes.
And that was at the end of the game, basically.
Alright.
He had the second highest economical rate for this one. So, once again, same more from Andrea Sanford. I not really did anything there to help West Indies, really. Taking a wicket is fine, but the team needs you to take wickets early on and keep your figures down also. At least if you can keep the figures, if you can get hit, at least take wickets to show for it. So, nothing really special there for him. But Colin was caught at cover, cutting at a slight, I guess the ball had a little room outside the off stump from Adri. And up spooning that one to, I think that was Lendl Simmons that took that catch. Simmons that would have taken that one there. It was Simmons, yeah, Pat Simmons, ball Badri for 21. So Brendan McCullum didn't hang around as long. I felt like he was the critical point there for them, based off of what he did in the first T20 game. So good for West Indies to at least get him out of the way. Pollard balls and the ball hits the tie. I thought at first it was I thought it was in cutter or something so. Like, and the ball cut into him, but hit his tie and then go back onto the stump to get rid of it.
Quite a ways.
Pardon?
It actually cutting quite a ways
Okay.
off the pitch.
Okay. Right. I had a cut. I had a cutter at first, but I wasn't too sure about it because it seemed also like it had just. I thought it was just a case where it had actually hit just the it had actually just hit the tie, like just unfortunately enough hit his tie and trickle back onto his stump. But at first glance, it did look like a cutter. So um, that's the wicket helping Pollard. And I don't know, does Pollard cut the ball back in though?
Pardon?
Does Pollard cut the ball back into the stumps, like bring it off the pitch and bring him back in.
Well, yeah, you'll see him doing that a lot in T20 cricket, especially with his change-up delivery, slow balls, off cutters, just trying anything you can really to make the batsman try something different or not give him the pace that he would be used to, whereas he could use that pace to get down to third man or down the fine leg, where very rarely you would see those fielders on the boundary in T20 cricket, especially.
Okay, okay. So that was a good delivery there by him. Get rid of Williamson. What else do we have here? The next wicket would have fallen. Ross Taylor would have gone out for by Sunil Narain. Ball that would have turned and actually let's go. Ball turned and came back in and I thought the keeper actually caught that one, but ended up hitting the stumps and he also made 21. Ryan still being a mystery bowler at the end of the day. You know, for me, I actually thought that at this point in the Ryan mystery would have weared off like it did with Agenda Mendes, but it
Yeah,
seems that the Ryan is still a very tricky bowler to play and not one of those bowlers you actually are see people actually able to just go on the ground and just smack. I've noticed that when people try to hit in the Ryan like that on the wicket, I hit him. They don't get that done, you know. He doesn't bowl that kind of line for him to actually just smack him down the ground. He usually get stumped or something. So, you know, I've been very surprised by the rank because they try not to jump on the hype train whenever a player joins cricket because it's like you jump on the train and then the guy ends up flopping. So, but Narain seems to be on his own. So, yeah, good performance there by him. Um, Tom Linton hits one right in the hands of Darren Barber at backward point. I think he basically got out the same way that Neeson got out straight in Darren Marvel's hands. So another one for Cottrell. In my opinion, right, I remember when Darren Marvel first came into West Indies team that his fielding was all over the place. And I found that in this game he fielded a lot better. So it's like he's getting better his performances, you know. So I think that's good to see that he's actually working at his game and not just in the batting department but also in the fielding. So you found out also, Luke, or you didn't see it that way?
yeah, I pretty much agree with what you said.
Yeah, so that was that there also, and he was actually involved in the final wicket of the game of Bolt with that direct hit also. So you know he was all over
Right.
the place. He took like how much? He took one, two, three, no one, two,
Two catches and a run out.
catches and a run out. You know, so you know that's great by him. You know, I'm very glad he's improving there. And as you were saying earlier, kill the noise and the comparisons of Brian Lara because that really messes with your head. You know, he will never
Yeah,
be Brian Lara. You
kind of,
know,
it's kind of like a price tag on a football side. You immediately see a guy come 30 mil, 40 mil, or up, and you say, okay, well, he's coming in for that big a price. Surely he can score about 20, 30 goals for the season, or he's going to keep the back line intact. But um, when you see that happening more often than not, you find the player flopping because of all the pressure forced upon his shoulders because of that price tag, or as in Darren Bravo's case, the Lara tag, being tagged as the next Brian Lara. Um, it is a lot of pressure, a lot of pressure. If you look at Lara card, is unlike any other. There are only a very select few who can really touch a record like his. Um, just to name a couple, Sachin Tendulkar, and maybe even not to a certain extent Rahul Dravid, but really and truly Lara is one of those batsmen in a class of his own, and to really say that there will be another one like him is pretty much impossible.
and you know that's something that always annoys me when people talk about sports. They will go that one guy makes the team, man. I know this is not a football video, but like especially with Lionel Messi, and how it's his fault that if Argentina loses the World Cup because Messi is not as good as whoever else would have played before him and won, and it's like same thing they bring over into all genres of sports. It's like at the end of the day, a player is only responsible for himself and improving himself. And at the end of the day, if the team doesn't perform, they don't perform. It's not his fault. There's only one man. He can inspire the team, but you can't force them to do anything. But if you want a great player on the individual performances, you can. But to compare him to Brian Lara is just such a far cry because half of the things Lara does did in his career, I can't see Darren Bravo doing that. Especially that 501 that to this day is still one of the most remarkable batting performances I've ever seen. Well, I don't think I've ever watched that game, but I've heard about. You know, I don't know who ever get up there. And then the 400, as we know, just to name a few of his performances. So, but I know it'll be tough for him because of how much he looks like him. I don't know if you sat down and study him in his games or something, because he looks a lot like him when he goes up there and back. So, but he's improving slowly. He's
But if you
getting
look
older.
at, yeah, if you look at a lot of the innings Lara played as well, there were not only big hundreds, but there were match winning hundreds. Um,
Yeah, it's true.
Mine goes back to 153 not out at Kensington Oval, um, when he really took the game from Australia, and he and Jimmy Adams really took West Indies. But um, yeah, I would like to see Darren really shut out those uh, whatever you would call them rumors about him being the next Lara, and just settle down and go about playing his own game. Maybe then we will be able to see something that he really has on. Saw a bit of it in New Zealand last year when he made the 100, but you would like to see more of that really from him.
Yeah, it's very true. Very true. So, by that point, the game was basically, the game was actually over after that last run out. West Indies ended up winning this one by 39 runs. So, congratulations to the West Indies. And like I was saying, it was basically expected, they expected to lose that one there. Um, I guess New Zealand will feel a bit disappointed in the fact that Saudi came back in and he didn't really do anything to speak of. He actually held his team to 2 overs, 1 for 16. You didn't bring him back in the team for that, but he's still going through that phase where they're working. They're working with him and all that. So I guess we'll see how it goes from there. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe it won't be. Spinners are a little hard to rate because they need more time. To see some of their players. So I don't know. Guess we'll see how that goes there for him. And for West Indies, Simon Sheldon Cottrell. He bowled very good, got 3 for 28. So that seems to be very happy about his performance there and all that sort of stuff. So him and Santoki both performed very good there for West Indies. So in that department, I believe that West Indies will be very happy with that. And of course, Narayan has always been the like warrior of the team, picking up 2 wickets for them. So and Badri also. Badri didn't bowl bad. So pretty good performances there. Sammy's the only one that didn't get a wicket, but you know, Sammy's working through his stuff. So good win there for West Indies, and the series was split there at 1-0, and that will be the end of the West Indies versus the New Zealand uh, series. And the next one we have to look forward to, I believe, would be the Bangladesh tour. I think it started in August. I think that started in August. So that's the next one there, and then at the end of the year, West Indies is going to travel down to South Africa, if I'm not mistaken. Um, that's the end of the year there, so you know, uh, pretty okay with West Indies. New Zealand will should go away feeling pretty good for this series. They won the Test series and they split the T20, so New Zealand should take away some positives from it. West Indies, T20 is the case where they're really working more on, and the test performance, as usual, was just not up to standard. In my opinion, they won one game, but could have done so much more. So, yeah, that is just my thoughts on that. Luke, you can, you know, give your thoughts there, and we can wrap up this video because much longer than I was anticipating it to go. So, yeah, just give your final thoughts, and we can wrap up the video.
Uh, I was a little impressed with Cottrell. A lot of speculation about his spot in the team, but I think he bowled well this match. He got 3 for 28. A little expensive. He could work on that. But he has a good Yorker. He's got good pace and good height, so he'll trouble a few batsmen in Australia when the World Cup comes around if given an opportunity, which I think he should be. Um, if Brian Bravo comes back from injury, sorry, then maybe we can see him in the lineup against Bangladesh and give him a little bit of a practice coming up to the South Africa tour because I think that'll be a very important one coming up. Um, yeah, that's basically it. I hope, as you said, the West Indies selectors will stick with the team ahead of the World Cup and that we'll see that team come into fruition during the Bangladesh series.
Yep, yep, very, very true. So, um, you know, pretty good job there, West Indies winning this one here. And I just want to see West Indies cricket improve and keep growing going forward. As we're both West Indians here, we both want to see West Indies actually improving their game and get back some of this whole passion that they would have had for the game and their performance. Because when West Indies is playing good, they're playing good. Or I should say when West Indies playing great, they're playing great. So, and when they're playing bad, they're playing horrible, not bearable to watch. So, yeah. So we'll leave it here as that, guys. Thank you for tuning in. And I guess we'll be reviewing. What is it? No, is the England trade? I guess we're still going on, or is that finished now?
Oh, that's finished now. I think India is supposed to be touring there just shortly, actually. A couple of days, the first test should start.
On Wednesday, right? I think I saw something like that for Wednesday or something. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'll try to cover more. We'll try to cover more stuff outside of West Indies cricket. Because West Indies will be taking a little break here. We have the CPL coming up also, so that is going to be a lot of cricket there to cover. I don't know if I get to go any of the games. I'll see how that goes. But yeah, try to cover some other teams and see what they're also doing over there to get an overall idea of how West Indies is going to fare, especially up to the World Cup and in the future as they play some of these other games. So yeah, we'll just leave it as that. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Remember, can follow me here. Dejan Inspires, Dharman24 for Twitter, the articles for Facebook. Luke, you said it was Luke Star, right? Just Luke Star for Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Right, just Luke Star for Facebook. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and yeah, good job, West Indies, and pretty good series. And we're out.